We foolishly think that by austerities, by knowledge we'll become God. God was God from the beginning. You don't become God. So this one thing, Janma karma chome divyam evam yo veti tattvata, who knows this in truth. Tattva means not superficially, in truth. Tvakta deham punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna. He does not take punarjanam. He does not come again into the cycle of birth and death. Because sometimes we are kings, sometimes we are paupers, sometimes lepers, sometimes this, sometimes that. I do not know. I started spiritual life this way only. 17, 18 years old, I used to believe in rebirth. I used to say, my God, I am going to again come take a birth, again study, again become a student, again sit for competition, again do some service or business, then I get married, I have children, then I grow, I look after them, then I become old, then I die, again I am reborn like this. My God, for how many births I have been doing this? Then when I started reading the scriptures, it says you have been doing it since eternity. I said, oh my God, this is very boring. Every lifetime, and sometime I become the top and sometime the bottom. If you have heard Guru Nanak Ji's story, you will get a shock of your life. Guru Nanak Ji was going with his servant. What was the name of the servant? Mardana. And he walks into a village and he sees a goat eating some grains in a very big grain shop, and sees three men hitting the goat, and he starts laughing, and then he keeps quiet. Mardana says, why did you laugh? He said, come on, let it go. He says, no, you don't laugh and cry for anything without reason. He says, I told you, Mardana, let it go. He says, no, I'll not go. I'm sitting down here. First you tell me why we're laughing. He says, you know what? You see this goat? This goat is actually the father of these three sons. These are his sons. And he's the man, this was a small grain shop. This man made such a big grain shop for his children. He did a lot for them. But he did not do any activity which is for the human being. He never inquired that why am I here? Where should I go? What should I do? What is the purpose of life? He never inquired. He did everything very nicely. He was so attached to the village. So he was born as a goat in the same village. I was laughing because the same granary shop which he made for his children, the same children are now, are they doing with him? They are beating him. They don't giving him a little bit of grain. I was laughing because I was thinking what this man has done in his life. That's why I remember one thing. When you have these small insects also coming into your house, they are some relative of yours. No living entity can come to you without having no connections with you. Remember one thing. A plant also which is growing in your house has got some connection of some birth with you. Because why did that particular plant come into your house? You remember this. Don't forget it. So he says, who knows this? That's why we are trying to know Krishna. By truth. Janma karma chome divyam evam yo veti. Veti means to know. Tattvata, in truth. Tvakta deham punar janma. Punar means again, janma means birth. Tvakta deham punar janma. Neti means no. Mameti Swarjuna. Then where will he go? He'll come to me. He says very clearly. So, this is very clear. And Krishna says, Avajananti ma muda manushyam tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhutam aheshwaram. He says, fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. They think that I am also, as I have got this form, they think that as their form is material, my form is also material. They don't understand my form is transcendental. Now when Krishna comes to do Leela, he is doing drama, and he can do the perfect drama. That's why when Yashoda Maiya, some devotee requests that please I want to serve you as you come as my son, I want to serve you. Then he takes the birth as a son, but he's still God. Remember one thing. You do it with love. When your grandchild tells you, become a horse. Do you become a horse or not? But you can't become a perfect horse. Krishna becomes everything perfect. When you say, I want to worship, I want to serve you as a son, he comes, okay, I'll come as a son. Don't worry. He comes. So he just almost, he is friend to all. Now we have to become his friend. Actually, we don't treat him as a friend. I'll tell you why. You take advice from your friend. Do you do that? Right? What do we do? Do we consider Krishna as our friend? When he says something in Bhagavad Gita, ठीक है कहते हैं तो सब लोग बोलते रहे. A lot of people have been saying this. That means you don't trust him. Right, Prabhuji? You don't trust him. That's why I tell people, in this lifetime, Everyone who comes to a temple actually treats God as his servant. He brings a big list, right? Hey, you do this. But the servant you can't order, na? Now also, if you have a servant, what do you tell him? Please, could you do this, please? That's what you do with God. Do this, please. I will give you this. One nariyal. Like the God is very hungry for nariyal. In Rajasthan, what they do, they basically say, Sawa Mani to Hanumanji. They'll get this huge thing, laddus, and like Hanumanji is hungry for their food. That you do this work for me, I will do this for you. At least for one lifetime, make him your master. Obey what he says and see what happens to your life. Till now, for millions of lifetimes, we have considered God as our servant, not as our master. We obey the master, but we have taken him as a servant. Have we not, Prabhuji? Tell me the truth. Have we not? We have been just, Prabhupada used to say that you have treated God as your vegetable order supplier. Vegetable order supplier. That's what we have done. So please, for one lifetime, accept him as your father and it will be great. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll be talking a little more on this, not much. And then we're going to take nature, Prakriti, and the gunas, which are very, very important because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 14th chapter, the person who understands the gunas actually can be cleared. Because gunas means which bind. It is called rope. In Sanskrit, guna also means rope by which we are tied. So how we are in bondage, we know how to get out. Everything done. So thank you once again. Thank you very much.